President Biden has pardoned everyone convicted of a federal marijuana charge. Anyone who's received a federal charge for simple possession of pot will be included in this pardon. That's great. I like to give people credit where it's due. So when I heard that, I don't use drugs anymore. I'm past that phase of my life. But I don't think anyone should go to jail for possession of a plant, for something that harmless. I mean, at the end of the day, a guy sitting in his basement, smoking weed, eating a pizza, and playing Xbox, he's not hurting anybody, and I don't think that guy should have, someone kick his door in and send him to jail. So when I heard that, I'm like, oh, cool. I don't agree with everything he's doing. He waited to do this before the midterms for a reason. But, good on him. A broken clock's right twice a day, right? And then I started thinking that I should maybe look into this a little bit. And so I did. I wanted to make sure, because as we saw with the student loan thing where they came out and said, hey, we're waiving $10,000 for everyone who's received federal student loans. And then that was front page news, of course. And then like a week later, they walk it back and say, hey, if a private lender holds your loans, you don't qualify anymore. But that was like page 7 or 8. And that actually tossed 3 to 4 million people out of there. So it's always, the walk back is always, just like with anything else, the retraction's always on page 8. But, they got the shock and awe for the big story to go help themselves in the midterms. So I wanted to look into this to make sure that everything was legit. And it turns out this is going to be great news for everyone who's currently sitting in jail on a federal charge for the simple possession of marijuana. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. You have the numbers over there. You've got it up there. How many people are going to be let out of jail that are sitting currently in jail for federal possession of marijuana?
0.
That's right. 0. Nobody's getting out of jail. That's what I forgot. You're getting out of jail. It doesn't help anybody. No one's getting out of jail. When they first released this, I said, hold on. How many people are actually in prison on federal charges for nothing other than simple possession of pot? Like, I don't see the FBI, pulling people over, conducting traffic stops to get small amounts of pot. There's no way. And sure enough, an ABC News report confirmed there's no one in prison on a federal charge for nothing other than the simple possession of pot. So no one is actually going to be helped by this. They said it'll help. There are currently about 6,400 people in prison with a federal charge for pot, but not with just that alone. So the only instance when the federal government's going to charge you with pot possession for simple possession, not intent to distribute, simple possession, two completely different things. The only time the feds are going to charge you with that is if you committed a horrible, heinous crime and they wanted to throw the book at you. So if you go and rob a bank and they pull you over and you've got a joint in the ashtray, they'll throw the federal possession of pot charge at you. If they raid your house for kiddie porn and they find a bong sitting there with weed still in it, they'll get you with federal charge for simple possession. So no one actually, other than complete scum, is being helped by this. But we should have come to expect that from them here. So, given recent events, that when in doubt, the Biden administration is going to help out complete scum. The funniest thing was Kamala Harris coming out saying no one should be in prison for pot possession, when she literally, and we'll get to this later, how disgusting she was as in California, when she literally, she locked people away for pot possession, maximum charge, and when it was time for them to get out of jail, she didn't release them from jail. She extended their sentences so they could go be firefighters against the wildfire. She used prisoners on nonviolent drug offenses for slave labor. But hey, at least it's a woman of color in office, right? That's the important thing. We're woke.